As a public service, I'm sharing my experience getting a Nigerian visa as a US citizen living near Washington, D.C. If Washington, D.C. is your closest visa center for Nigeria, then you will want to submit your application to OIS Services. Their website, you can just Google them, oisservices.com. They're going to show you how to apply for the visa on the website. They're going to show you the checklist of what you need to apply, and they can book an appointment for you, which is required. But there are a couple mistakes I made that I want to share with you, and frankly, mistakes they made that they don't tell you on the website. So as a public service, I am posting this video to share that. The first mistake I made was when I read that the visa is only good for 90 days, I made the mistake of thinking, well, I should only apply for the visa a little closer to the date of flying. That is a mistake because even if you apply for the visa, let's say 200 days before you fly, you might not get an appointment until, closer to 90 days before you fly. And then it'll take them a couple weeks to process your visa. So by the time the visa is actually issued, you'll be within 90 days of flying. So don't make the mistake I did. Don't wait 3 months before you're going to fly to start this process. Just start it even earlier. Start it 4, 5, 6 months ahead if you can. Okay, the next tip is they will tell you on their site a phone number, and they don't answer their voicemail. And so I left messages saying the problem I was facing, which I'll get to, and nobody responded. The key is use the email. They actually respond to the email. And here is the total lie. They say appointments only. So when you book an appointment, you're going to find that appointments are not available for months. So in my case, for example, in late 2022, I wanted to fly in January 2023, but I could only get an appointment at the last minute in January 5th, 2023. So it was a big rush and very stressful. I only had 1 week left before I flew. And what you want to do is, if you can't get an appointment several weeks before you fly, go in without an appointment. You can book your appointment online as they show you how to book it. You can make your appointment booking on the website. But if your appointment date is too close to your flight, or even after your flight, don't worry, just go with no appointment. The only penalty is they will charge you an extra fee when you show up because you're showing up without, not on your appointment date. If you show up on your appointment date, they charge you $30 when you are at that office. They take your photograph, they take your fingerprints, you hand over all your papers and your passport so that they can process it. And they make you pay $30 if you're showing up on your appointment date, but they make you pay $80 if you're showing up not on your appointment date. So obviously, it's better to just show up without an appointment rather than miss your flight and not have a visa. So, you might be forced to just pay the extra $50. And of course, that's probably why they are so stingy with appointments. They think that if they can, I don't think it's because they're too busy to have more appointments. I think it's because they just want to force you to have appointments 2-3 months out into the future to force you to come in and pay the extra $50. But the crazy thing is they don't tell you that you can walk in. They say appointments only, and that's the big lie. It is not appointments only. You can walk in Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, pay the extra fee, and get your visa submitted. So again, normally it takes 2 to 3 weeks. I would give yourself at least 3 weeks before you fly to walk in. The only reason they have for expediting it in less than 2 weeks is if you're going to a funeral. They consider that a valid reason to be expedited. Their process is you turn in all the required documents, and you can see a list of their required documents right here, the visa checklist. That's going to be your printout of your application. That's going to be a bank statement proving you have enough money to go on this trip. You're supposed to print out your flight itinerary, although it's funny, they didn't even ask for that when I showed up, but I gave it to them anyway. I would definitely bring your flight itinerary. You bring your invitation letter. You bring proof that you paid the fee online. You bring in, what else did they require? You can read the requirements there. I don't want to miss anything. But basically, they just collect all those papers from you. Oh, they also collect 2 passport-sized photos. And it's interesting. There's another contradiction on their website. I've seen online that they say, listen, we're going to take your photo when we process you. You don't need photos. But then the website says you need 2 passport photos. So when I went, they collected my 2 passport photos. Apparently, they need them. Don't believe any website that says you don't need it. I think you will need the 2 passport photos. And again, you show up to pay your fee. You've not only paid your fee when you applied for the visa online, but then you also pay a processing fee when you go there. And they allowed me to pay with credit card when I went there, the $30 fee. And again, that's $80 if you show up before your appointment. Those are all the tips I have. Oh, one last thing I'll tell you. In my case, I didn't know all these things. So I went exactly 7 days before my flight. And I was shocked to hear that I could have avoided that. So that's why I'm sharing this with you. But I have some good news. They actually processed it quickly for me. They're very helpful. They answered the email. But don't go through the stress I went through. Do it early. Pay the extra $50. Oh, and don't forget to bring that prepaid envelope, overnight U.S. Post Office envelope, so that they can mail you your passport with visa inside to your home. That's the only way to get your passport and visa at the end of this process. Bring the envelope as they explain in the checklist. And when they're done, they'll mail it to you. Good luck. Bye.